that you are HIV positive. I'm like, whoop, nah. HIV assault. Yeah. I feel like I want to talk to Ncebakazi, you know? Maybe she can help me. And then she's like, go to her inbox, write to her. I wrote, okay, guys, paragraph.
I think the first time I born and then born up a Philippine village,
Yes.
right? So when was it? Was it last year?
It was last year, earlier in the year. I think around about March. Yes, it was around about February, because in January I was still working at Claremont. So I came back from there because I was going to do operation. So then after that I decided to quit.
Yeah, were you
so
working?
then I just came into the space.
Were you working?
Yeah.
That time? Oh, okay. So ndandiqala ukubona mna last year and I thought into yobana you're the coolest kid in the block, and I was introduced to you by Ulonwabo, ne?
Yes.
Ulonwabo, yeah. So did you only meet him last year?
Yeah, I also met him last year.
Last year. Why was what in Philippine Village? Why did you come to Philippine Village at that time?
So yeah, at Philippine Village, I came because I saw a poster online on Facebook that it was actually inviting people to come and do a race on athletics. Since I decided to come because I'm also passionate about sports. I love sports.
So you run?
Yeah.
I learned. I would never. Okay.
So I came and I was telling myself, I'm going to get the ticket.
Okay, you were like, it's mine. They must just forget. But
unfortunately, when I came here, they told me that it was yesterday, and I only saw it like yesterday later on. It was like,
so maybe you came for a different thing. It wasn't the race.
Yeah.
Because now you're like the ambassador of the space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I met Ulonwabo Mamtembi at the back, the trees. So I was actually also helping out OSA too, organizing, I think it was fruits, and then Brushka was telling us how to lay the apples and stuff. Okay. So me and Lonwabo were busy helping out as well. And then afterwards, we were communicating about something. I can't remember what we were talking about, but then it came to, I was talking about work and not working, how it feels not to work and just sitting.
Yeah, the mental strain that it causes. Okay.
So he told me that he will introduce me to Sis Khanyisa. And then I came, and then he introduced me to you on the same day because we bumped into you.
Yes,
downstairs.
yes, I remember.
Then you said I should come the following day and took my number.
And then that's how our chain started. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Khanyisa Zangqa, otherwise known as Usis K Wama2K. With me, I have Ncebakazi Nikilitha Maza, one of the most vibrant, most energetic, most interesting young person that you could ever meet from the township, Old Crossroads. So I'd like her to tell us a little bit about herself. Like, Ncebakazi, welcome to our show. Welcome to Mr. Lofty Entertainment. Please, if you're seeing this for the first time, please like this and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell umakhulu wakho, axelele iitshomi zakhe stokvel ukuthi Mr. Lofty Entertainment uza ne-content that everyone likes. So yeah. So Ncebakazi, tell us a little bit about yourself, and also please tell us about igama lakho lesibini Nikilitha, because I know it has sentimental meaning to you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who's Ncebakazi? And yeah.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Ncebakazi Nikilitha Maza. So I would first say Nikilitha is not on my ID, but Ncebakazi is. So Ncebakazi means to us other people, like old people,
speaking people,
also people that people who likes helping out other people, right? Yes. So I don't really like that name because I feel like it's old-fashioned.
It doesn't give you that.
That thing, it doesn't suit my personality.
Yes, it doesn't give. Okay.
It's not giving.
So Nikilitha does.
Yes.
So what does Nikilitha mean to you?
So Nikilitha actually means giving light to people, giving light to yourself. And Nikilitha I was given by my mother. at birth, because when she was young, she went through a lot of stuff. So she thought that I would be her break deal of that stuff and give light to her life. And as well, and during her pregnancy with me, she also had some complications. So she went back home with me and told my grandma that she will be naming me Nikilitha. But then you know how old people are. Abo crazy.
Oh my cool. What cat?
What? Yeah, Amen. What
Forget
does this thing
Nikilitha.
mean?
And Nikilitha sounds like it doesn't sound as for umdomdala. I completely understand why
Yeah.
Makulu was like, hey, sunqala, because Nikilitha is more like smooth. And Ncebakazi, ubona uyangena nasecaweni.
So Nikilitha means giving light, as I said. And then so my granny was like, no, we are not taking this name because she had her reasons. My mom had her reasons. But then my mom told herself, this child will remain giving light to me.
Yeah.
So I felt like when I found out about this name, I was already old, and before my mom passed away. And then I was like, I'm carrying this name because it means so much for me, and I feel like it has that weight that I need in life as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm also giving light to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a good reason why I'm asking you this, because we usually don't spend this much time when it comes to names and explaining names. But there's a good reason which you will find out as the interview goes on, because I want you to see the importance of this name and how you have carried, because people will be given names, but it's how you carry the name
and how you understand
and how you live up to the name, which can also give you negative pressure. Umzekelo, xa kuzothiwa nguvusa umzi, sana babelinde ntoni bengawuvusi. Do you understand?
Yes.
But also when I like the fact that you're taking it for yourself, the fact that you are saying you are giving light to yourself as well, because usually it's about everyone else but not you. So yeah, what does Ncebakazi do?
So yesterday I graduated.
Okay.
But
we don't have the things that does there.
No, but
yes, we're getting there.
So I was placed under Ikamva Labantwana, which is in Crossroads, and by Here Beyond. So basically, Here Beyond creates opportunities for the youth, and Here Beyond has different kinds of streams, and I think they have 8, and I was part of the academic stream, which is helping out primary school kids with academic needs, such for literature and numeracy.
Oh, nice.
So I was part of grade 4, tutoring the kids of the school. So it was a from 2 till 4 program. And then during this year, I would say, yo guys, I've healed.
No.
I've healed spiritually and mentally.
Would you say you being part of that really helped you as much as you were, I think, placed to actually do what you expected to do? Do you think that also personally it helped you? Just you being involved in the program also helped you as an individual?
Yes, it actually did help.
In what way?
I would say in my relationships. I won't touch on like romantic relationships. But
how old are you, by the way?
I'm 21, turning 22.
I thought you
on
were
Monday,
turning
next
19.
week.
No, but you can't get into the program if you're less than 18. I really thought you were 18. 21, turning 22.
Turning 22.
Next year.
This year.
You're turning 22
December.
Oh, when? 11?
It's not this Monday.
So this is your birth month?
Yes.
Yeah, when? Okay.
So what do you?
So it really helped you. You being part also helped you heal.
Yes, it helped me a lot. With networking and speaking with confidence. With my
and you are very confident. Yeah.
And with my relationship, meaning my family and I would say family and my friendships as well. Yes.
So what would you say to a young person or who has never been part of your organizations? Because one thing I'm getting from you is that being part of an organization really helped you shape ubomi bakho, but not only professionally, but also personally.
Yes.
What is it that Here Beyond does in order to get to that aspect? Because most organizations just focus on you doing your job. What's different?
So for me, Year Beyond has helped me in my professionalism and personality as well. So by saying that, I mean, for being professional, you need to know how to communicate with people.
Yes.
You need to know how to actually
speak to people.
yes,
Also
but I
how
want
to
to tell
carry
you
yourself.
how to your emotions, how to
Yes.
handle your emotions.
Yes. So
with
it also
people.
teaches you about emotional intelligence.
Yes,
Oh, nice.
yes, emotion,
Okay.
and also time management. And they have a course called Talent LMS. That course actually grooms you,
Which is online.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
So is it only accessed by people that are
part of the
Year
program.
Beyond? Okay.
Yes. So it grooms you to become the better person, the better version of yourself, and also to how to surround yourself amongst other people, not only the young people, but as well as adults.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and also it teaches you how to handle kids as well, how to work on a social space, and for you, as a personal part, it helps you on your mental health, spiritual health, and physical health, because there are courses that touches on depression and anxiety and how to overcome those stuff.
Yeah. And also I think one of the things that I've seen through you is the fact that you've grown, not only based on your professional side, but also on your personal side. So I think it really works. And one of the things that I know that Here Beyond does, they also have those sessions that they have, is it called Future Fit
Future
Friday?
Fit, yes.
Where you get to sit with your mentor and speak as a group and speak about everything else that is in the curriculum.
Went through the whole week, and
it's in the curriculum. And also get to peer education, peer-to-peer education, which really, I think it really helps young people. So we see that you are wearing a ribbon, a red ribbon. What does that mean to you? And you are wearing red. Take us through the ribbon. What does that mean to you? What is it about?
Okay, so the red ribbon for me means supporting not only young people, but everyone who is living with HIV and AIDS. And also, I think it carries, it shows support to those people, and also they won't feel left out on, because this ribbon is just a sign of supporting one another.
Why do you feel like when personally you are supporting the red ribbon thingy? Because most people will just wear it. Cancer Day, World Cancer. I don't know whether it's World Cancer Day. I'm sorry, but you'd find people wearing a ribbon for one day. 16 days of activism, you'd find people speaking about 16 days in GBV only on that day, and it's mostly people that are not even affected by what that topic is. So why when how do you relate to World AIDS Day? How do you relate to supporting the
Okay, so with this ribbon, I relate on his I was born with HIV, and I want to show the world that I'm not only supporting myself just because I'm living with HIV, or I'm just supporting people with HIV. I'm actually supporting like everyone, because you never know whether you are infected. You can find out on a later stage. So I just want to show that you are not alone. There are people who are supporting you. When I was coming here, actually, I was quite surprised by people who were wearing red t-shirts, just plain. I was like, wow, the community
so people are taking it far,
changing, and they're
not only making it about the ribbon.
Yes, it's quite surprising, because the other years I've never seen so many reds in my life.
I also wanted to wear a red dress, but I was like, I'm gonna look like Mother Christmas, because it's red and white. It's not completely red, so that's why. I'm sorry. So but also, like, tell me, how did you find out that you were born with HIV? When were you told?
So I was told, I was doing grade 4 at that time. I'm not quite sure at what age, but I think 11 or 12. So I was in a car. I think we were on our way to Delft. My father had a Chisanyama at that side. So my father was out of the call to talk with someone. So my mom and my nanny, I was sitting with my nanny at the back. And then my mom just turned around to say, I have got something to tell you that's important. Like,
Apparently, like
in the car.
In the car, but
Yes.
you say, are you not home?
No, we're not home. I live here in Crossroads,
Yeah.
so we are not home. So she was like, I was curious, but at the same time, I'm not sure what she wants to tell me. So she
And
was
you
like,
only like in grade 4.
in grade 4, yeah. So she was like, you are HIV positive. I'm like, I'm lost. What does that mean? Because like I'm as young as I am, I don't know what HIV was at that time. And then I was like, what does that mean? But she didn't carry on as to what it means and explain. She just told me that I was born with it. And then I was like, oh, okay.
And then that was
it. Yeah.
And have you ever spoken to her about that after she disclosed your status to you at that time?
No, never again. We only spoke about it when I was trying to commit suicide. She saw over the phone.
Yeah, that you were trying to. Why were you trying to commit suicide?
I think I was 16 and 17 at that time. So I was going through a lot, and I felt like I'm alone. I'm in the dark place. And actually that day she found out I actually took pills, and I was talking to my friend, Oba, I'm feeling dizzy. I don't know what's happening to me, you know. And then I think I left my phone open, and then she saw. I just came back. When I came back, my mom was actually crying because she saw what I wrote on my phone.
The conversation.
Yes, with my other friend who actually lives here in Better Life. It's a guy. So she was like, she was crying, and then she asked me, what do you want from me? Like, I was confused as to why are you asking me that question? And I could see that she was stressing out about something. So
you didn't know that she went through your phone?
Yes.
Okay.
And then she didn't.
But how were you feeling at that time? Was it sorry to cut, or was it already when you said pills?
I already took them. I took them actually the night before. She saw it in the morning, the text.
So you took the pills and slept?
Yes, but then I woke up.
And then, so when you wanted to die,
Yes.
So you thought you were not going to wake up the following day. And then did she see the phone the following day?
Yes,
okay.
In the morning, yeah. So she was like, what do you want? How can I actually support you? Like, support me, Bindoni. And then she was like, what do you need so that you can become better, so that you know that I love you and I don't want to lose you? I'm like, okay, maybe she saw the conversation on my phone, because I only realized then, okay, there's my phone on some table there. And then I'm like, I don't want anything. And then she's like, what do you like? Like, I'm so confused now. Why are you asking me what do I like when you saw what I was talking about? Why are you not confronting me or shouting at me? Because that is usually what she actually does when you do something wrong, right? And then I was like, okay, let me just go with the flow. And then I'm like, I'm struggling at school. I'm not feeling well at most of the times, and I need tutors. I want to do sports. And then she was like, okay, we will do anything that you want to do, but please don't kill yourself. And then she said we must write down a list of things that I want. At the end of the day, never continued again. Yonke Lanto that we wrote, it didn't actually
happen.
Yes, but only the tutor part that she was serious on, because she was a person who loved you to do well at school. Because she believed like education will take you anywhere.
So why did you want to commit suicide? Was it based on how you felt, or was it based on the fact that your relationship with your mom wasn't, or was it also about your status?
It was about everything, honestly. It was about my status. It was about how different the different treatment that I got from her, just because I had the status, and my other siblings didn't know actually. And then she was like, she treated me different, because she would say, if I'm sick, she would like focus on me on 24/7. and she wouldn't even want me to get out of bed. And then as to my brother, if he's sick, it's just medicine, we can go and play, I'm like, I also want to be that kid. Let me be the kid. And she had time for me, like, you must come back home. And then I would always feel frustrated. I felt like small, and that I'm not seen, or maybe like I'm a careless child and all that. And also it was school wise as well, because at school I was always treated different, and I was always, most of my high school years,
Did they know about your status in primary
at school, they didn't know about my status, but a few of my friends did. So at school I was bullied from primary to high school. It only stopped in grade 12. Yeah, so it was that as well. And then but at that time my high school wasn't part of the suicide. And then also it was also part of how my friends treated me, and how when I'm trying to date, how people treat me as well. And also when I was so lost, and I didn't know what actually HIV means to me. So I felt like the world is just ending. I don't deserve to be here, and like I had no support the way I wanted to be supported.
So you felt like you didn't have enough information as to what was going on with you, and you also saw what people were doing, like after you will tell them. So after your mom, so do you think that your mom was being overprotective, or like because maybe it was coming out of love, the fact that she didn't want, because maybe she didn't know as much as maybe she knew as she got to understand what the virus is. So do you think that she was acting that way not because she's trying to treat you differently, but because she was overprotective of you?
I think she was overprotective.
Yes.
Because my mom really loves all her kids.
Yeah.
She's a lovable. She loved people, even the community.
Yeah.
Still, even today, they would say, "Oh, my Marco was such a nice person," you know. So I just think it was a mother's love, and as my, like, I infected my child, you know.
Yeah.
What is she thinking? I think, but she didn't have a way to communicate with me, because I was always that child who holds in emotions. I just get angry, and when I get angry, like, I would be sad for hours, even days. I won't communicate the way you want me. I would just shout, but it's not like I'm shouting. It's just the anger that's built up inside
Everything
of me,
else
and I
that is,
didn't know how to communicate with
So
people.
one
at the
thing
time.
will happen, and then everything else that has ever happened to you will lead to you acting up a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay. So after your mom told you that you were HIV positive when you were still in grade 4, what happened afterwards? Was there, like, were you taken to a clinic, or like how did you tell your friends? Like, how did you get to tell your friends that, and when?
Okay, so I would first like start on a part of how she told me. So in grade 4, obviously, we weren't taught about HIV and other diseases. So I only started to know what HIV means in grade 5, when later in the year. So I'm like, oh, so this is something serious. And I was like, okay, if this is something serious, what does it mean for me? You know, like, how did my mom get it? Because, like, I didn't understand, you know, like, and I didn't know how to actually ask my mother, because I was afraid of what she would say to me, and how did I find out all of these things. So I just kept it inside me. And at that time, I didn't have a phone to be connected on the internet. So I just kept on learning as the grade goes by what HIV means, you know. And then as I got older, I realized what HIV means and what it does to a person. Yeah. So as to my friends, how I open up to them. So when I think I was 15, the first time I opened up to my friends. So we were just sitting at my friend's house, just enjoying ourselves. I think we were 3 sitting in my friend's room. So out of nowhere, I don't know, we were not even communicating
about anything related
if I
to yeah.
Ncebakazi just came like, guys, I'm HIV positive.
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue. I don't know what came into me.
And what happened? What did your friends say?
My friends at that time, they were lost. They didn't say anything. Nothing. Absolutely. And then I was called back home. When I went home, I just done what I was called for, and then I went out. And then everyone now is sitting in the corner in front of my house.
Because they like, you
So
just
now-
usifakele bomb, come
Yo.
and fix
So now
it.
this friend, we knew, but she's a gossiper.
Nondaba. Oh my God.
Sana. So my friend just told the others, ba, Ncebakazi has HIV. Sana.
Just after you told them.
Just after the same day.
So she's telling wonke umntu,
She was telling those she was sitting with.
which is not the same people that you were.
with at that time, yeah, but they were also my friends. So my brother was also there,
And your brother probably didn't know.
You didn't know. So now what happens is my other friend was like, Ncebakazi, I want to tell you this. And then she was like, they say that you are HIV positive. I'm like, who? Nah. HIV assault. Yeah, and they were like, now she was coming in by, yes, you did say you have HIV. Hey, I did not say that. I denied. And for them to believe me, I cried. I cried the real tears. I even had istingala, but I don't have HIV.
Yeah.
So, and it was like, now they were busy brushing off, but I'm like, go inside, if you knew, I have it. But then it was that, like, if this goes out, what is my mom going to say?
Yeah.
What are the other people going to say? The family, the community, like everything. I'm like, I can't.
So you don't know why you decided to tell them, and then when you realize that, bana, okay, it's not what you maybe you just wanted
them to know and support me.
But then you didn't know because they were young. You didn't know how they were going to react.
And how they would react. So I'm like, I'm
I might as well not tell you and act as if
nothing happened.
I was possessed. Yeah. And what happened afterwards? How did you, like, for instance, you spoke about relationships, the fact that everything, when it comes to the virus, everything just Look, how do you, for instance, you now have new friends.
Yes.
You're now a young adult, a young adult. Obviously, you date and obviously you meet people. So, do you have to always disclose your status to them? Or is it something that you want, you feel comfortable doing, that they need to know? Have you made this part of who you are?
For me, about disclosing, when I was young, I was like, there's no need for me to disclose. Who are they to know about me?
Yeah.
I also don't know about them. So I was like, I'm just going to dig. But then when I done more research and also started seeing Unozi,
Mayaba.
Yes.
You're
so
a fan.
Okay. So I'm like, okay.
I'm also a fan.
I started doing more research about HIV virus, everything, disclosing. I'm like, this is serious. You can actually go to jail for not disclosing to your partner. So I always choose to rather disclose earlier so that Undu takes their decision
as to if they want
to continue the relationship with me. But as we know, like some of the partners that we have, they will actually act like they care until they're like,
I can't take this anymore.
They won't say, they will actually treat you in such a bad way that you will just end up being the one breaking up the relationship because you don't understand. I came to notice this because not so long ago, because I was like, okay, Goku, I haven't told this person that I'm HIV. And then like when I tell them, they will start acting weird, and then I just know it's because of this. And now I'm like, I don't
things
mind.
Were different before.
Yes, and I'm like, now I don't mind because it's who I am. You cannot change me. Yeah. It's either you take me the way I am or you just leave me. So I think it's very important disclosing to your partner early so that you both don't waste each other's time. And I'm sure nobody wants to go to jail just for not disclosing. It's something, even though you are afraid, just do it. You're saving yourself from the embarrassment that your partner might bring in for you. Yeah.
So emotionally, how does it do? Like, what does it do to you when you always have to tell people, and also the fact that you do not know how they're going to react? Because based on society, HIV is treated differently, and even if you are born with it because people believe that it's only a sexual transmitted disease, you only get through it, and most of the times they always say, "Bana, I kaloku, you got it because you were sleeping around."
Yeah.
So how do you get yourself how do you get yourself emotionally and mentally prepared? And also, what do you do after when you see that they're acting different, even if it's friends?
Okay. So I was actually speaking about my brother about this during this week. So with HIV, I believe that it's not only transmitted through sexual intercourse. You can even get it from salivas by kissing each other, or maybe you have a gum that's bleeding. You can get it like that, or maybe a cut. It's not only sexually. And with us people, black people, we believe that it's only transmitted that way because HIV has this big thing on us, and it feels like you are going to die when you have HIV. But actually, no, it's not like that, you know? It's something that you can carry on with. I always say this, I am HIV positive, and it's not part of my personality, right?
For sure.
And with... Can you repeat?
No, like I was asking, like when it comes, like mentally, how do you prepare yourself in terms of, like,
what people are going to say?
What people are going to say, and when you see that, Ncebakazi, if you're dating me and I act differently, you my friend, and I act differently after you've disclosed, how do you prepare yourself as to, because you know it has happened before, how do you prepare yourself for such things?
Okay, so how you prepare yourself is you tell yourself that I'm ready for whatever they are going to say, and you have to take whatever they say in, and don't take it too personally because it's their opinion, it's their life as well. They get to decide who they want to be, right? And we cannot hold on to that. You gotta move on because there are also other people who would love to be with you just the way you are.
For sure.
And also with friends, for now, I would say I've got really matured. It comes with maturity as well. Because if you are not matured enough, or you don't do research about the things that's going around in the world as well, and then you won't understand. You will always have this thing of, I cannot date such a person, you know. I cannot be friends with such a person. I feel that way. And also with HIV, it's the same as, I would say it's the same as having any other disease that you can live with. For instance, I would touch on having a high blood pressure as well, because it's something that's in your health as well, that you also drink medication for. Yes, for your life, so that you can be okay. Right, but for HIV, I think it's because you can spread it to another person, and that person has it for life, you know. So it's understandable too.
You also understand why people act a certain way, and also it's because people don't educate themselves, just like you said. People don't go out there and read about HIV, understand, go to attend workshops that are out there. So you mentioned that you are a fan of Ncebakazi Mayaba, to a point that you were like, I want to meet that lady. If you were given an opportunity to speak with her, and why Ncebakazi? Why are you...
Okay, so why Ncebakazi? There was a time, I think it was in 2020, when both my mother and I were sick. So I'm not sure what it's called to have ibant in English. I had ibant at that time. My mother was sick, very sick. So she passed away that year, and I healed.
What year was it?
Excuse me, in 2020.
2020.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was so depressed as well, like, yo, go, the shake and dead with this.
You're still sick, and your mom got sick and she died.
No, yes, I was sick, but then she passed away when I was already fine and okay. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, yo, what now? How am I going to go about? Because at that time I remember we already told ourselves that we are going to back to the medication because we defaulted as well. We were not taking medication for like I think a period of 3 years.
You and your mom?
Yes.
So that's how you got sick? That's how she
Yes.
got sick
Yes.
and passed on because she defaulted?
Yes.
And that's how you also got sick because
Yes.
you also defaulted?
Yes. And also I remember when we had a huge stigma on going to a clinic because we were used to private hospitals and get medication there. So now we're going to the local clinic.
Yes, yes.
It was like a mehlo. What are people going to say? So we would just take, if we will go both, right? I get my medication. She wouldn't go. She would eat kwezizam impilisi.
But it's not the same
Yes.
medication as the one that she's supposed to get for herself.
I'm not quite sure because at that time I wasn't fully aware of
what medication. Yes, I completely understand.
Yeah. So and then so now at this time I'm like, yo, I'm left alone.
Sorry, was there a time when she would take for herself and you would have to take Ncebakazi medication?
Yes. We would share pills.
Okay.
Yeah, which is something that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
If viral loads are not the same, or if you do CD4 counts.
Yes.
So now, when my mom passed away, there's a girl. I don't want to name people now. There's a girl in my street. So she was like, why don't you follow Ncebakazi Mayaba? I'm like, yo, I'm already following her. I don't see the purpose.
Yeah, you didn't relate to this, to her content at that time.
Yeah,
yes.
so I'm like, and this way, but then time went by. I'm like, yo, man, I'm suffering. I'm suffocating. I don't know what to do, you know. So I just started going through videos.
So who were you living with at that time when your mom passed on?
I was living with my grandpa and my brother and my grandpa's children, but then we moved to Kels River to live with my aunt because of transport for school. Yeah. So I was like, okay, let me follow her. And I'm telling this girl, hey, I feel like I want to talk to Ncebakazi, you know? Maybe she can help me. And then she's like, go to her inbox, write to her. I wrote, okay, guys, paragraph.
What did you write about? Did you write about what was going on in your life?
Yes, I was writing about how can I go back to my medication? I want to go back. I want to heal. How do I communicate with my family? My family is doing this and this and this. How can I sort out my life? But unfortunately,
she didn't respond. Ncebakazi, if you are watching this, or if anyone is watching this, sis Ncebakazi Mayaba, I'm a fan, she's a fan, but maybe you don't remember. She's going to write to you again. Ncebakazi Nikilitha Maza. I almost said Mayaba. Maza. So please respond. Yeah.
So I was like, but then at the time I'm like, oh shame. Maybe she didn't see because she's too busy, and there are people who maybe are also contacting her.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of people living with HIV.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So I was like, it's fine. I'm going to heal. I'm going to set goals for myself for this year.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on my things. I'm going to start finding other support systems. Yeah, it doesn't end there. It doesn't have to, you know, I have to carry on with life.
Yeah.
So then I did find support.
Yeah.
And I got amazing support, and I am who I am today because of the people who have supported me in life. Yeah.
Amazing.
Because I believe if I didn't get the support that I needed, I wouldn't be where I am today, right? So I also want to shout out and say thank you to those people. They know who they are. I love you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Ncebakazi, you spoke about defaulting. You spoke about when you and your mom defaulted. What is defaulting, and what does it do? What happens when someone defaults?
Okay, so a defaulter, it's when you do not take your medication, and it's either you don't take it right or you just don't take it at all. So for me and my mother did not take medication for 3 years, and whenever we would get sick and we will just think like it's fever, we would take medication for fever. Now, as a person who done more research, I knew we need to get back on medication. But as a young person, we know that our mothers do not want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
They know what is right,
Yeah.
right? So I just kept quiet. I obeyed my mother's rules, right? So when you default, you get sick. You get you get so sick so fast, and it lasts for a period of time. Sickness yakho, right? So for me, I had Ibanti that I told about, and then I
So when you had sores all over,
yes,
like it's the belt,
it's yes,
okay,
and it can also kill. It's very dangerous,
and
when
I believe that it's also very sore. No?
it is. So when I found out that it's actually Ibanti and what makes Ibanti, I was shocked at the same time as like, oh, I'm going to die, because I texted my other friend. So I was like, I have this thing around my waist, and it's like sore pimples and it has blisters. And then she just said, Liband. Like, what is Liband? What causes Liband? And then she's like, it's a person who has HIV who do not take their treatment right, or do not take their treatment. I'm like, yo. And then she's like, you need to go to the clinic. Mind you, she doesn't know that I have HIV, right? And then she's like, you need to go to the clinic to heal it fast. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. Mind you, the time I have Elibandi, my mom was also sick, and I was hiding it because I didn't want to stress my mother on top of
What
the
she's
stress
going
she
through.
had when she was sick. Yes. So the only time they saw me and right was the time like you send you go back kunzima no hamba. It's very painful. It's very painful. I don't wanna lie. And Ibantlam was already halfway through my back.
And they always say that once it dibane, then
Yes,
that's when you
pass
die.
away. Yes. So I was very lucky to be still alive and be able to treat. When I got to the clinic again, the stigma, it's always there. As you walk into the clinic, starting from the gate, the securities, you can just see whoa. They have that face of judgment. So I went there and I told them what's wrong. So the same day I was at the clinic, my mom was also at the clinic. So she was working with my aunt while I was going alone to the rooms. So when I got to one of the nurses, it was like, yeah, I was Ziki Pilis. Yeah, I was like,
and she didn't even ask you what was going on and how you felt.
I feel like doctors should at least ask us in a rightful manner as to why are you not taking
your medication? Yes.
What's happening? Is everything okay at home? Because if you just come to me that way, you are not making me comfortable to the next question that you might ask, because you are going to ask me next, why are you not taking it? I'm not going to tell you the truth, obviously. I'm going to lie. I'm going to say, because I ran out of medication, or I was away.
Of course.
While I was here, right? And so for me, I was like, okay. She said that, and I'm like, okay, what I'm going to say next? I just kept quiet, because at that time I was a very quiet person. I was an introvert.
They should have met this. Yeah.
So she was okay. I was quiet. Then she told me to go to this other room. Luckily, Omni Oputike was like he saw that I was in pain, and I think he noticed the surnames. My mom came before me, and she was rushed to hospital. Her case was very serious. And then I just sat for a minute, and then he said, "Ncebakazi, take your medication, you'll be right." That I felt warm. Right? At least there are some people who still have that.
Shout out to that guy, man.
Yeah. And I was every time I see him, I'm just smiling, because he makes it comfortable. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, okay, at least there are some people, right,
who really care.
And then also for defaulting, it also causes you to be very lazy. Like you don't have energy to do anything in life. Like you just feel like it's not worth it. And because my cause with my mom for defaulting was also because we were tired of the medication. We felt like it's not doing anything, and we felt like it's the thing that is doing. Like we live to the pill. It's what makes us live. And if we do not take that pill, then our life is over.
So you're totally dependent
on the pill to live. Yeah. That's how we felt. If you take it that way, it's not supposed to be that way actually. You just take your pill to be healthy, to be able to push and be strong in life, right? Because HIV is a very serious virus, right? Yeah.
And how many, and also you mentioned that you took a different medication before, when you first heard that you were HIV positive. Did you get the medication before your umama kwakalele that you were HIV positive? And did you know at that time when she was giving you medication, or did you even suspect it is any, because you were the only one that was taking the medication? What was going on?
Okay, so when I was young, I would always take medication with syringe, liquid medication, because I'm a child and I cannot take with pills.
Yeah.
And you know how our parents are like, come drink this medication, it will help you go stronger. They will be lazy. So I don't want to be lazy, you know.
Yes,
so
yes,
I'm taking
makes
that
me
medication
stronger.
for myself to be strong, you know. And it was a bitter medication. I don't know what the name of it was, you know, and but I didn't have or suspect anything. I only suspected it after I was told about I'm HIV, and when I got to learn, but okay, no man. When I grew up, I was the only one taking medication out of everyone.
So it made sense
Now,
why you were the only one.
And then I was like, okay, now what about my brother, you know?
Because
yes.
Why
So
should
I'm
I
like,
be the only one who's strong?
Yeah, and like he's like, oh, you know, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, Hypo, why is he not taking medication? Am I the only one who's HIV here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if my mom is lying, you know, that I'm not HIV?
Yeah.
And mom's like, okay. Now I had to ask my mother if my brother is HIV now. And then she said no. And then she started explaining to me why he's not HIV.
Yeah.
So apparently my mom got the virus from my father, right? And then when she found out that she had HIV, she was already pregnant by that time.
Okay.
So
maybe it's when she was getting her pregnancy stuff done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. But now recently I had a conversation with my neighbor of how you protect your child while you are still in the womb with some zinc. I think it's zinc. I think what you call it,
Omega,
vitamin pills for not
whatever
things
that they
to go
give you.
through
Yeah.
the child. Yeah.
Okay.
So and then she said like it's the choice of the parent
whether
not
to take it,
protect the child when in the we're still pregnant. But then I asked myself, how is it a choice? Because no parent
would
in
ever
this years would want their child to live with HIV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no man, it doesn't make sense to want your child to live positively, because what good use are you doing for that child? What are you thinking about their future, right? So I'm like, no, we need to be educated about HIV. Never, not even one person. I would, even my enemy if I have, I would never wish them to live with, because it's complicated. It's very complicated. You need to understand.
It sounds really complicated. So you go out with friends, right? There's something called amagidlo, where you go out with your friends, you book a guest house, nifuna to go and have fun, like sleep over. So obviously, when it comes to HIV, there's certain times that you need to take your medication. You either choose whether to take your medication in the morning or in the afternoon. So you haven't told your friends that you're HIV positive, or your partner. Like, how do you get through the fact that you need to have your medication, always have to take your medication? How do you maneuver? How do you deal with this whole thing? Let's say you're staying for 5 days.
Okay. So my mom always used to tell me to always take a tissue, right? And you pretend that you're going to the bathroom. You have your medication with you, either in your pocket or wherever. You can even put it like, or hold it like you're holding a toilet paper. So you just go there, you unwrap the tissue, you drink your medication, and you just make yourself like you are coughing, or you're blowing out your nose, or you're going to pee. That's what I do when I feel like I'm in an uncomfortable space.
So that you're avoiding to default as well. Because is it also defaulting if you don't take your medication for 5 days?
Yeah, it can lead to, because as soon as you do not take your medication, it means that amajoni wako omzimba are starting to get weak,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So as the time you are
And your
going
viral
back,
load gets more.
yes. So as you are going back to medication yako now, you are telling yourself, "Bah, I'm going to fight it again." But no, your viral load is already kicking in and spreading in more, and it's going higher because when you already took a gap.
Yeah.
And with the gap that you took, you are giving it a chance. Uba mayiphinde inyuke.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how difficult is it to get back to medication when you've stopped for 3 years or for even a week?
It's difficult, guys. It's very difficult. You need like someone who will tell you, "Bah, take medication yako." Last year, I was defaulting a bit, I think for 2 months. And then there was usisilo wasesitratweni bendithetha ngayo, so she would tell me every single morning, "Ncebakazi, don't forget to take your medication." Even if she leaves, even now, I still hear her voice, "Ncebakazi, drink that medication," right? And because of that, I started to remember I have to. It's not like I cannot take it. I can. It's just like in my
You
mind,
need a
but I
reminder.
don't want to. Yeah, so it's very difficult. You just need to be reminded at times, and the support that you get also plays a role.
You're young, Mos. You want to go to a groove. Lifiki ixesha lakho lothatha medication use-grooving. So what does, like, how is it mentally, how, because the fact that, let's say, nam no lofty, you only told me, but you haven't told ulofty. So the fact that if it was me and you would just take it in front of me. But if there's ulofty, you always have to find ways. Let's say awukwazi nokuya bathroom. Like, how does ithini yenza ntoni in your mental well-being?
So you will always like overthink about so now, like, I'm not going to take my medication because this person I'm not used to, right? And then you're also thinking of highway too, it's my health, but then we get different personalities, right? So other people will start judging, "Aibo, medication, why did it?" For example, like, I remember being in a call with this guy, right? He's a friend of mine in grade 12, and then I also had this girl who was a friend of mine in grade 12. So this guy, I'm already now comfortable with him. He's my friend, right? So now he's asking me out and stuff. I'm like, "No, I don't want you." So now he's asking me why. So I'm telling him because I'm HIV positive, right? And then like he was shocked, to a point, "Hayibo, utheni ngatsho?"
But you are saying now.
Yeah, so I'm like, "Why do I have to tell you?" Because you're not exactly in
my life.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Did you tell your friend?" I'm like, "I don't need to tell my friend. I can choose who to tell, right?" And then he ghosted me for months just because of that. I'm like, I took that as you are not matured enough.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to blame you for that. You need to be educated about such things. And we as people with HIV, we cannot always feel uncomfortable around you guys. Like people who are negative.
Act as if it's not normal. Yeah.
So I feel like...
And people who don't even know their status.
Exactly.
Because we cannot say people who are negative. People who don't even know their status and think that they are negative, but they're not. And even if they're not educated when it comes to HIV. So they are negative. Yeah. So thank you so much, Ncebakazi. This is what I wanted to find out about you, and I'm sorry that you have to go through all that, and I'm grateful that you have your support. Yeah, it's very important now. Like what I'm getting from you is that it's important to get your support, and also it also takes so much from you to take your medication, and the fact that how many times have you defaulted since you started with the treatment?
So when I was young, I think it was around about the age of 11 until I was 17, and then
for that long. From 11 until 17. So for 6 years.
13, 14, 15, 16. So it was 6 years, and then we just took for 1 year.
And what happened to you when you defaulted?
At that time, I had nothing. I wasn't sick at all.
Okay.
I was fine. Everything was going smoothly.
Yeah.
And then when I was 18, I stopped again. until 2020. Now that's when I got the
Very
wake up
sick.
call.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
So that was like 2 times already.
Okay. And then last year.
And then last year again. So
Okay.
it's 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that you'll ever default again?
No.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah. Because now you understand
Yeah.
what the importance of taking your medication, and also we completely understand that it
Yeah.
gets strenuous at times emotionally.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're still pushing.
Yeah. And also I just wanted to share this, right? So with me and my brother, right, he didn't know that I have like HIV. So I had to make the means of informing him, telling him that I'm HIV. So I had no clue how to tell him, but I knew he has to know, right? So
when did you disclose to your brother?
It was in 2020.
Okay.
No, 2021, early in 2021.
Was your mom still alive at that time?
No, 2021. Yeah.
Okay.
So I told him, and then after I told him,
And how did you tell him?
I just told him, but did you know that I'm HIV?
And what did your brother say? Like, did you know that I'm HIV? And what did he say?
He was shocked by like HIV. I'm like, yeah, I'm HIV. I got it from Umama. And then now it's more like, Umama, does that mean I'm also HIV?
Oh yeah, so he also didn't know that your mom was also HIV positive.
So he was like, does it mean I'm also I'm like, no, you don't have it, because at least she told me, but you don't have it.
Yeah, it protected you.
And then
should have been a really like shocker for him. Yeah,
because you also
have to disclose for your mom on your mom's behalf.
Yeah, and we communicated about this also, like as to how he feels.
When did you disclose to your brother? 2021.
2021.
Oh yeah,
yes.
sorry.
But then
at
that time, I didn't want to put him on like in an uncomfortable position by asking him, how do you feel, what do you think, and all those stuff. So this week, since I was going to do this interview with you, I thought of how about getting to ask him questions on how he feels. Yeah. So I actually asked him, how do you feel that I'm HIV positive? And he was like, I could see that he was shocked as to
why are we talking about this again?
Yes, and it was uncomfortable. I'm like, record and I didn't stop because he was telling me to stop. I'm like, no,
but how you feel?
Yes, just number and yes, but
and he's a guy, by
the
way.
Halfway.
Abafana. When it comes to you, that's another question. Sorry for cut. Do you think that Abafana, when it comes to HIV, are not testing, and when you disclose, as much as they don't know their status, they act as if they know?
They are not testing a lot, Geshem, because you can see from as mobile clinics, you see mostly, but it's young girls. It's just mostly women who was there, and you barely see men. Yeah, so
and they go out there and act as if.
And I think with some of those who knows, they are responsible. Some are not responsible. As to some people who are living with HIV has this thing, but if I have HIV,
I'm gonna spread.
Why do I need to be the only one who has HIV?
Yeah.
Why can't you and you have it?
Yeah.
Right? So they start spreading the virus to other people as well. Yeah.
And also they don't know how much spreading HIV also affects them, because when you go and spread it, you don't even know who you're spreading it to. It might be with someone that is already infected.
Yes,
so the viral
and there's something called reinfection as well.
Okay, so you get infected again.
Yes, you get reinfected. So reinfection means, for instance, I am HIV, right? My viral load is low and yours is high. So which means if you are the guy and then you sleep with me and then mine is fine, you are reinfecting me for either mine to go high, or I get STIs, or I get any other diseases that are out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that, because I think people do not know about being reinfected. They only focus on spreading. And sometimes they can be so stupid to thinking that as they spread it, it gets less when it comes to them. So this is like very good information as to you might get reinfected, and also just because you are spreading it, it doesn't mean
that
your
it's getting
load,
low to
your
you. So you
load,
need
your
to take
viral.
your treatment for it to get low, guys.
Yeah. So taking care and taking your treatment is the only way that you can suppress the viral load. Yeah, thank you very much for educating. I see why we need you to be on the socials more, because young people don't know, and mostly in clinics, they do not talk about reinfection. They don't talk about anything else that is related to HIV. They just tell you to take your treatment. And they don't even tell you about the challenges that you would have to face as to taking your medication, and the stress and that comes with it.
Yeah.
And also,
because in some of the pills, so the pills are different, right? So the ones that I take now, like you can get, it depends within your system as well. So with mine, if I do not eat before, like 2 hours before I take the medication, and then I just take it, because you can take it before you eat, right? And then you eat 2 hours after you have ate the medication. So it's just vice versa. So if I eat the medication before I eat food, I will get dizzy and nauseous. To avoid that, I first eat.
And
so
then
you also
2
have
hours later, you have to take the medication.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to like learn how your system works.
So you also need to be your own doctor at some point, because you don't always have to take what they're saying. It also, you test it out on yourself as to how it works.
It works for you.
That's too much work for one. That's too much work. And I think it happens with all the diseases when it comes to cancer. Like even when they take chemo, it doesn't. They don't react the same. But when it comes to HIV, people act as if HIV is this demonic disease. So yeah, thank you for clarifying that. What happened to your life, and then you had to go to live in Case River, and then tell us a little bit more of what happened, because I understand now that you live with your brother and you guys live alone. So it's sort of like, when did you start living alone, and when did your pops passed on as well?
Okay, so my grandpa passed away in 2021. So after that, me and my brother in 2022, we lived with Omnye Usisi from our street for a couple of months, I think, in 2022. But then we decided we actually should go and live at home and see how things are going to be, right?
Yeah.
Because I believe
And how old were you at that time?
In 2022, I was 21.
Okay, and
Yes.
and he was?
He was 17.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
And Uputa, where was your dad at that time?
My dad passed away in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he passed on first.
Yes.
Before
my mom.
Okay.
Yes. So after my mom passed away, we had so many challenges that it broke us two as a home. It actually, like my friend yesterday was like, it felt like it's a house more than it's a home.
Yeah.
We always believe that we are home, but a home has a different meaning than a house. So a home is like where you find love. There's laughter, there's happiness, right? So a house is just where you live. You just have a shelter, like just to cover your head, you eat, you sleep.
There's no love, there's nothing there.
There's nobody. So it was like that for my brother. So it felt like we lost hope in many things. We are still rebuilding ourselves, our relationship too, because it broke into pieces. But because we are both young, and we don't have a much age group, so we are both in our
the age difference
yes,
is not here.
So it's not much.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to say this, I'm also going to say this.
Yes.
There was nobody involved to to stop us.
And also emotionally, and you're ready to both be your own parents.
Yes.
The adults, you're still very young. You still need someone to take care of yourself. You need someone to bounce off into Bana. I don't think, what do you think about this? But then it's a shock that you just lost your parents. You just lost your,
And also to me, it was like, I'm the elder sister.
Okay.
So now
you're on Mame.
Yeah, I felt like that, and I'm like, I'm your parent.
I'm taking care of you.
Yeah, but then like now, recently, I'm like, no, man. This is actually ruining our relationship. I was supposed to be a sister and a friend to my brother,
not
rather
a
than
mom.
being a parent, because I will never be a parent to him, nor will he ever be a parent to me.
Yeah.
And we will never be parents to each other.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to stick together instead of fighting and all that. But it's very difficult, guys, within the society that we live in.
Yeah.
We always have this thing of, what are people going to say?
Yeah.
For now, it's like, stop that, because people are not going to change your life the way you want it to be, because it's up to you what you do to yourself and your sibling,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So so you guys decided that you are just going to look at life differently.
Yes.
So how do you take care of yourself now mentally, in terms of getting, like, how do you get to this point? Because it seems like from the point that you were in 2022, when you guys started living together, you are in a different, because the fact that you're taking responsibility for the part that you've played in terms of the relationship not being what it was or what it should have been. So how did you get to that point? Like, what do you do? For instance, do you go for counseling? Do you have people who are, just like you said, who are supportive of you, that has made you look, or is it because of the Future Fit programs that you've been doing with Year Beyond?
Okay, so I would say I go for counselings. I have okay, I'm just gonna mention one name, one crack. So Esethu Mboyine from Philippi Village. She's part of the garden team.
Yes.
So she played a huge role in my life.
Shout out to
Esethu. So Esethu, guys, was like she was the person who actually came in as a sister to me that I needed at the time that I was going through the most. Yes.
Yeah.
So she would just listen to me. I just needed a person to hear me out rather than just advising me. Sometimes we don't need advisors. We just want someone who'd sit and listen to you, just to speak. As it when I come here at sometimes she would like yes, baby girl, what do you need? She just know, like,
Yes.
So I just think we need that. So I had Esethu who played that role as a big sister to me. And then I had Amandla Development. They have a support group.
Shout out to Amandla.
Yeah. And then I also I said one name. So it's also a
lot of people that you...
Yeah, so it's just people who are willing to hear you out and actually want to be there for you. Not people who will want to be there for you and cut you off at a certain time. But no. Girl, you are going through so much. I cannot handle you anymore. We don't need that. And also, just because I'm HIV positive, it doesn't mean that everything is going to be based on my status.
Yes,
there are things in life. Yes, because some people are like that. I had friends who were like that. Oh,
every time it's about your status.
Yes, and it's not even about like I want to be felt pitiful. It's not that. I want to be a person who other people are, just in general. We go through things in our life that it's not
for sure.
And then also the garden, guys. I highly recommend going to the garden when you are not okay, because
nature heals.
Yes, it heals so much. You don't even need to talk. Just going. They often I like my skin was good as well. Like
okay, the skin was poor.
And then you just do those tandayo to heal yourself. And also don't be afraid to communicate on how your feelings, how you feel, how people makes you feel. And if a person doesn't want to hear you out, it's fine. It's okay. You don't have to hold on to that. But I must say this, guys, when we go through things as friends, everyone, right? But when your friend or someone else doesn't have much time for you, you don't have to hold on to that, because what you hold on to the most can break you. So to avoid that, you'd rather choose yourself. Put yourself first.
Thank you for that. It really also helped me, and I'm like, I'm gonna choose myself first now. So I like the fact that you also mentioned that people shouldn't make you about what your status, because that's not who you are. That's part of what is happening in your
Yeah.
life. So how do you help yourself financially? I know that you just graduated. So how do you, like, for instance, it's just you and your brother. Your brother is in high school.
Yeah.
You just started this program and you were working before. So who takes care of, how do you take care of yourselves financially?
Okay, so so now I was part of Uye Beyond, so obviously we had a stipend Payana, yeah, and then we have a house that we are renting out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
That's
then
so
we
smart
also
of you.
yeah.
Entrepreneurs.
And then my ribbon.
We'll get
and
it
then,
for you. Yeah.
And then we had also for my brother a social grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So at
that's
least
how,
it's a little bit enough for you.
yeah,
Okay.
to be stable.
Yeah. So also, you are a speaker.
Yeah.
You are a public speaker where you speak about health in general, when you speak about challenges that you've faced. How's that for you? Who can people book you to become, to like come and speak in their events since school busy?
Okay, so yeah, I am a speaker. I love speaking. At something that I didn't know I had until last year. I was part of a Captain Fan Plastic. That's when I started knowing that I can actually speak in large groups. Yeah, and also I was part of as many organizations too that they allowed me to speak. Yeah. So if you wanna book me, guys, I'm available on Facebook, as Ncebakazi Nikilitha Maza.
Are you also available? Are you only available on Facebook?
For now, yes.
Okay.
I don't use Instagram much, but I have an account
And
which is
TikTok?
Nikilitha_Maza.
And on TikTok?
And
I
on
also...
TikTok, I'm Nikilitha Maza.
Okay.
Too.
So people can just book you through your social platforms.
Yes.
So are you planning to have a YouTube channel anytime soon? Because based on how you were speaking, I know that a lot of young people, and I like the fact that your focus is not just HIV, it's everything else that young people are facing. Are you looking at starting your own YouTube channel?
Yeah.
And also, yeah,
I am starting to think about that as to I wanna lay more on what is HIV, how it feels being in the journey of HIV. But I don't think I will only be focusing on that as well. There are other things that people need to heal from as us. And also I believe it's difficult for us young children, youth, to communicate with adults because it feels like we are going to be judged. For instance, in the clinics, it's not so much comfortable because other people are comfortable but the others are not.
Because clinics are still a huge problem when it comes to anything, especially for young people, whether to prevent, whether to go and get condoms. They have a problem with young people getting condoms, but also they have a problem when they come with STDs, which I don't understand because they should be supporting.
And it's something that's supposed to be, they are educating us on as well, and counseling. I remember my mom knew, right, but I had HIV, and I also knew. So now we were going back to clinic. My mom made me test for HIV again. I'm like, that is too much for me, And then I felt so ashamed. But
how old were you?
I was 17 when going back again. So I was like, what are the nurses going to say? As young as I am, now it feels like it felt like if I was slipping around, because why is she telling me to retest when she knows that I was born with HIV, right? Yeah.
So thank you very much, man. I think I got more than what I wanted, and I love the fact that this interview was not only about your status, as you said, that's not only the interest why, but because of how you speak when it comes to HIV. And I've never met any young person who, when they speak about HIV, they understand what HIV is. And I'm so grateful that you've healed and you are still in the process of healing. I know that a lot of young people out there, when they watch this or when they associate themselves with you, whether they're HIV or not, whether they're going through anything, which is why I really am rooting for you to start your own YouTube channel or speak about these things when it comes to maybe have your own talk show.
By the way, I was also, since it's World AIDS Day today, I was also thinking of releasing a video on Facebook.
Please do.
Yeah, a mini one, just
Yeah, just
Yeah.
to tell people of what you think about HIV. Yeah, do that. To you record yourself more often. When you have a thought, record yourself. You'll never know what will happen.
Yeah.
So yeah. So from me and Mr. Lofty Entertainment, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for honoring our invite. I feel so honored to be sitting next to you, so that when you are famous, you must know where you saw her first. And also, yeah, it was not only us giving you the opportunity to speak about yourself, but also having the opportunity to understand what young people think like, because we are in another generation of cis
Yeah.
Wama 2K, but also understanding what young people think like. What is it that you like? Because we need to bridge that generational gap. Because if I am not the person that you can come to and speak to about a relationship, about a friendship, then that means I'm not living up to what I am supposed to be
Yes.
living for. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, and continue shining, Nikilitha. Continue Nikilitha to yourself, to Ifilipi, to a crossroad, to everyone else that gets to the opportunity to meet up with you. So from me and Mr. Loft Entertainment, please subscribe to the channel, like, tell your friends, tell Chomizeniki Groove Indobana, and we will have competitions as to if we get more subscribers. If you tell more people about us, we will give you a free photo shoot. You've heard it from here. Singabantu abafotayo, guys. If you know you're a pretty face, and just contact us and tell us that. I will tell 10 people to subscribe to your channel, and then we will make sure that you come to your Philippi village in the Glamorous Center and take pictures of you, so that now pop on Insta. Peace. Yay. Well done.
Thank you.
How was that for you?
It was very nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.